please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
I am Anisha Jain. Well, we told you first and now it is official. The GST coffers are ringing and that is our top story at this hour. Well, GST collections have finally crossed the 1 lakh crore rupee mark. The trend was robust over the last few months as well, and the April numbers are the highest posted till date. Timsi Jaipuria is here with more details. Timsi, good afternoon. The collections are healthy and even the compliance is also improving.
Yes, as you rightly mentioned, the GST coffers are actually showing a tax buoyancy trend. These are March numbers to be precise, and March numbers have crossed 1 lakh crore mark. Let me tell you, we reported on April 23rd that the collections are going to cross 1 lakh crore rupee mark this time. It is around 1 lakh crore .03. That is what the collection figures are. And if you see the total number of GSTR 3B returns filed for the month of March are up to 60 lakhs. That means the number of returns also that are getting filed are also huge. Now, let me tell you, there are about 60 lakh taxpayers which have filed out of 87 lakh taxpayers. This means that it's a healthy number. Till now, we were seeing in the last few months that the number of returns were ranging about 50 to 55 lakhs only. Not just this, March number usually is higher. That's what government officials are indicating, that March being the last month of the year, normally the collections are higher. But yes, this time they are much higher than what they expected. The expected collections for the month of March and April continue to be above 1 lakh crore rupee mark, and we need to wait and see what happens when the April collection figures come in. Also, not just this, out of 19.31 composition dealers, 11 lakh plus composition dealers have filed their GSTR 4, which is around 59%, which also means that the compliance is improving month by month, and this would reflect in healthy collections in the months to come. But government officials are also indicating and cautioning that we cannot see any definite trend in GST revenue collections till we see what is the growth of tax buoyancy in the first quarter of the current financial year. We'll keep you posted on it.
Okay, Timsi, thank you so much for that. And this is something the Revenue and Finance Secretary Hasmukh Hadia has also pointed out, speaking at the Indian Business Leaders Summit in the month of April. Now, he was confident that revenues will touch the 1 lakh crore mark soon. Here's the conversation.
Your target is touching at least that 1 lakh crore rupee mark, sir, as far as GST is concerned. That will help you meet your indirect tax target. Do you feel confident? Because, you know, we've been ambling between 86,000 crores for the last 2-3 months. We're now edging closer, as I said, for the month of February to about 90,000 crores. Do you feel confident of being able to touch that 1 lakh crore rupee mark?
We should be able to touch 1 lakh crore very soon. We should be able to. Maybe in a quarter, first quarter, soon after the first quarter, we should be touching 1 lakh crore easily.
Okay, to discuss more on this, we are now joined by Mr. Mervyn Godino, the GST Council member from Goa, MS Mani of Deloitte and Prateek Jain of PwC. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Mr. Godino, first to you. The trend had been encouraging, but is it too early to celebrate? The government is also cautioning a bit that March can be an aberration of sorts.
No, I think the most important thing is it shows the stability in the system, that things are working well. And as I've said in your earlier interview as well, that it is going to touch and cross 1 lakh crore by the end of the month. So that has happened. And once we have the e-way bill also working, as I said, revenues are going to further rise by at least 15 to some people say even 20%. So that's overall increase in the collections that would take place. When you look at the compliance also, there are more people complying. And as I said earlier, once we have the ease of filing returns, which we plan to do, we are having our next meeting by video conferencing on the 4th. Once the decision on that also is taken, I think we'll have much more compliances and things simplified much more, and there will be things which are made easy for the stakeholders or the businessmen or the traders. And that's how we expect to have in the future as months pass by, overall buoyancy in the revenue collection, which will give us room for further streamlining, further simplification, further ease of compliance, which we hope to do in times to come.
So, Mr. Godino, you mentioned about the 15 to 20% gain that we can see, or the rise that we can see in the tax collections going forward. When can this happen? What is the timeline for that? And can 1 lakh crore monthly number be taken as average going forward?
I think one can quite safely say that would be the revenue. That would be the average figures of 1 lakh for the month. And with the e-way bill or e-way system working well, I don't think by any chance we can miss a rise of at least further revenue of 15%, which will give us healthy figures for maneuvering other things and taking decisions which we do want to take, which I would not want to spell out at this moment. But we are also looking at things very carefully. But what is most important is things are working along expected lines. Revenues are accruing to the exchequer in terms of indirect taxes to what figures we had expected. So there is no slippage as such. By the e-way bill system, as I said, there are leakages somewhere that needs to be taken care of. There is some evasion taking place that has to be taken care of. I think to a large extent, e-way bill system will take care of that. And later on, of course, we have other issues like RCM and all, putting that in place, getting that working, but that's for the future. So right now, I think these are healthy figures, and I think it speaks of the GST as we are moving to something, say, as our Honorable Prime Minister had said, good and simple tax. We want to move towards that sentiment. That sentiment should be expressed by the common trader, and that is what we are looking at.
Oh, well, yes, definitely a healthy upswing is what we have seen as far as GST collection is concerned. But Mr. Mani, coming to you on this, Movid Godino is quite confident that 15 to 20% increase is what we can see in the tax collections going forward. What is your sense? What can be the average number going forward? Will it hover between the 95,000 to 1 lakh crore mark that we have been seeing, or do you also expect it to go up?
I think that the revenues are now stabilizing at a range of approximately 90 to 95,000 crores. So if you look at the trends of the last few months, it seems 90 to 95,000 is where the normal revenues are stabilizing. We are also expecting a few anti-evasion measures. Some like e-way bill have already kicked in, and some like reverse charge and invoice matching are expected to kick in the next 1 or 2 months. This accompanied by the fact that the government has been playing the stability card in GST. So if you look at the last 2-3 months, they have not made any across-the-board changes, except making it simple and easier for taxpayers to, file. And all of this together, to my mind, should lead to a revenue which will certainly be at par with the budget. Because if you look at the budget, the government is expecting GST revenues to grow at approximately 15%. Now, if that has to be realized, in that case, the revenues have to match month on month, year on year. So with the large amount of simplification that they have already done, together with the anti-evasion measures which are to take care of those segments which do not pay the relevant tax, I think the bright story for GST has already started. This, to my mind, is a very significant tipping point, because crossing 1 billion revenue in GST is something which even 3 months back, when the revenues were languishing at 84,000 and 86,000, very few people could have predicted this. So the fact that we have crossed 1 trillion, to my mind, is a very significant tipping point for GST. And this augurs very well for the future in terms of what revenues are. The only note of caution I would like to add is this certainly includes some amount of year-end adjustment. Whether that is 8,000 to 10,000 crores, as is being speculated by certain people, or whether it is lower or higher, we would like to wait and watch. And there is no way of determining how much is on account of the year-end adjustment. But it is very clear that many corporates would have paid up the unpaid tax for the earlier period while filing the returns for the month of March. And since the accounting is on a cash basis, it would get reflected in these numbers only. So if we take that out, and if it were theoretically possible to take that out, maybe we would have got a number which is more comparable with the earlier months and with the revenue trends. But in the absence of that also, as I said, the fact that revenues for the last few months have been increasing, the fact that more and more anti-evasion measures are being introduced, together with the fact that the government is working on a simplification overdrive to keep things very simple for taxpayers, to tell business that we are not going to keep making changes every month. All of that seems to be resulting in a situation where now it's going to be, excellent revenue collection for the government.
Okay, so the tax collections are stabilizing and 1 lakh crore can be the tipping point as far as GST collection is concerned. But Prateek, coming to you on that, even the compliance seems to have improved 70% when it comes to GST 3B and around 60% when you take a look at the GST 4 returns. What's your sense as far as compliance is concerned? Of course, measures like e-way bill and others have been put in place, but what's your sense of how the compliance will move going forward?
Yes, you're right. So I think before coming to compliance, I think, I always expected the March numbers to go beyond 1 lakh crore. And as Mani said, it might include some of the bit of year-end adjustment, but it augurs well. I think that April collection will also exceed 1 lakh crore. It should, because of e-way bill as well. And now there is greater stability which is coming up. Yes, we'll also have to see how much is the refunds which are due to the exporters, because in many cases the refunds have not started. So there is some impact of that as well, but that should not be significant. Now coming to the compliance, I think, look, this 3B is stabilizing, and 3B is a very one-page summary form which you have to file on a monthly basis. And I think that even after the new system of returns are introduced, perhaps this 3B will continue, because the government would want to see whether the new system stabilizes soon. And that will be the real test, because I think the 3B, the percentages will keep improving, and that's good to see. But when the new system comes in, because all the returns which are there in monthly now, 3 returns will be combined into 1, is what we are hearing. How much time the GSTN take to kind of sort of come up with a system, and how do businesses cope up with that new system is what we'll have to see. And till that time, till it stabilizes, my sense is that Form 3B will continue, and the percentages of compliance will continue to improve. So that's good. All eyes on May 4th now, when the new format of the returns are worked out and decided by the council.
Well, yes, all eyes on May 4th when the new system of returns is brought up. And also the fact that 1 lakh crore is possible is the word coming in for April collections as well. Thank you, Mr. Gudino, Prateek, as well as MS Mani for joining us and lending a perspective on this entire GST collection bit. Yet another twist in the long list of twists and turns in the race for Fortis Healthcare. Now, Malaysia's IHH has sweetened its offer to acquire the company. Munjal and Burmans have also revised the offer for the company. Now, Nisha Poddar is here with more details. Nisha, this race for Fortis just seems to be heating up.
Yes, Anisha, it's an action-packed day, especially because May 1st is the extended deadline for giving the final revised offers for Fortis Healthcare. And IHH, the Malaysian company, has taken the first plunge, has revised the valuations for Fortis at 175 rupees per share, but only for front payment of 650 crore rupees. That is an upward revision of 15 rupees per share of Fortis Healthcare. Now remember, their overall total offer lies at 4,000 crore rupees, and the rest of the amount is subject to 3 weeks of due diligence, 4 weeks of exclusivity period, and 2 board seats. So all those will really need to be met, and due diligence period will have to be given. Now, soon after IHH revised its offer, sources with direct knowledge share with us that Munjal-Burman combination has also upped its offer. In fact, we are just waiting for those details to come by. So whole day we will be quite, occupied with the revised offers coming in as the suitors get more and more aggressive on the final day.
Well, yes, Nisha, that is the flashes that we're getting on the screen that Munjal and Burmer had offered the investment of around 1,000 crores via the preferential issue of warrants as well. And it seems that the total investment of around 1,000 crores is what they have given through the preferential issue of warrants. The total investment perhaps now can go up to 1,800 crores. Nisha, what were the earlier offer on the table that Burmans had provided? And what is the timeline going forward for the board to accept and consider all these proposals?
So on 10th of May, Aisha, the board will be meeting, and this will be after the advisory committee really reviews all the revised offers from now. In the middle, till 6th of May, Manipal TPG, which has the right to match the highest offer, will also be given time. So till 6th of May, we will know if all the bids have been revised. From 6th to 10th, the advisory committee will review it, give an opinion to the board, and on 10th of May, they will finally take a decision. Now, as we speak, Munjals and Burmans have really put out their offer. The earlier offer was upfront of 1,000 crore rupees. The total offer earlier was 1,500 crore rupees, and their implied valuation was in two parts, 156 rupees and 161 rupees 60 paise per share, or the SEBI formula, whichever is higher. So I'm just trying to look at the final numbers that are coming in. You say that 1,800 crore rupees is the final one, right?
So yes, Nisha, that is what I'm reading. And the earlier numbers that you mentioned was 156 and 171. Now that stands at around 167 and 175. So those are the details that are coming as far as Fortis Healthcare is concerned. Thank you, Nisha, for joining us and giving us all the update regarding Fortis Healthcare. So the race for Fortis Healthcare clearly seems to be gaining speed. But to a top national story at this hour, fight for the Karnataka state election heats up. Prime Minister Modi starts his campaign and it is a packed schedule. Now he will be addressing around 15 public rallies over the next 5 days. Prime Minister is visiting Charmarjad, Nagar, Udupi as well as Chikori today. Let's cut in live to Prime Minister's rally.
ಅವರು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು 2005ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 2009ರ ಒಳಗೆ ಈ ದೇಶದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಿಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯುತ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪೂರೈಸುತ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ವಾಗ್ದಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅವರು.
चलो भाई, आप मनमोहन सिंह जी की बात का अनादर करते हो, क्योंकि आप तो मनमोहन सिंह जी के निर्णय को भरी पत्रकार परिषद में प्रेस संसद में फाड़ देते हो.
ಬಿಡಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ, ಮನಮೋಹನ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ರ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನಮೋಹನ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಅವರು ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗಲೇ ಏನು ಗೌರವವನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿದ ನಿರ್ಣಯದ ಪ್ರತಿಯನ್ನ ನೀವು ಹೊರದು ಕಸದ ಬುಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
मनमोहन सिंह जी की बात नहीं मानते हो, कम से कम आपकी परम पूज्य माता जी की.
Well, Iran lied. Now that's the word coming in from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as he revealed what he claims is evidence of an Iranian nuclear weapons program. Now Netanyahu made the acquisition in a prime-time television address. However, majority of the evidence presented is from before the 2015 nuclear deal and was reportedly known to diplomats that helped negotiate the agreement.